The Trump 2024 campaign isn't letting their candidate onto the debate stage, and yet now they're asking for there to be no debate stage. That's right. They're arguing that if Trump isn't gonna be there, it just shouldn't happen anyway, even though they could just send him whenever they want to. They want him coronated instead of actually having to debate, and there might be some rationale to that, considering that he is far and away the leading frontrunner for president. But here was his campaign advisor this week after the second GOP primary debate saying, tonight's debate was boring and inconsequential as the first debate, and nothing that was said will change the dynamics of the primary contest being dominated by President Trump. The RNC should immediately put an end to any further primary debates so we can train our fire on crooked Joe Biden and quit wasting time and money that could be going to evicting Biden from the White House. In other words, just let's wrap it up. Let's get back to doing the thing that we're actually pretty bad at doing as of this week, which is trying to get Joe Biden out of the White House. And then the Trump himself, I imagine, or the Trump campaign had this official statement saying Donald Trump, the last president of the United States, which is eerie, an eerie phraseology, and a now heroic figure in the Republican Party, retains and will continue to retain a commanding lead over his rivals that's seemingly nothing short of an act of God, and maybe not even that can dislodge. Okay, wow. Feel like this is a little bit of a slight to the late Dianne Feinstein, but okay. So they're saying basically end these debates. These debates are silly, and of course Donald Trump himself, bleated on Truth Social. The second Republican primary debate on Fox News has the lowest viewership since 2016. Their overall ratings are down 30%. Fox needs MAGA. They just don't know it yet. Stop with the bad debates and negative ads. No more. Get your act together before it's too late. DJT. What do you guys think? End the debates, or why doesn't the dude just show up to them?
He doesn't need to. So it's just like the first one. And they're saying it blatantly straightforward. It's not like there's anything hidden anymore with Republicans, especially the MAGA Republicans that'll blatantly say that from the government shutdown to debates, we don't care about any of this stuff. We don't care what it looks like, because what we have is this coalition of people who, no matter what we do or say, they're gonna support me even further. So if he goes to debate, the only thing he can do is damage himself, because people will get to ask him questions. We know the situation. We know why Ron DeSantis wants him there, so they can bring up billions and trillions of dollars of debt that his administration racked up. Which, by the way, they didn't bring up the billions and trillions of dollars of debt that the administration was racking up when the administration was racking up that debt. So really, what does it matter then? He can always come back with these things, but still, the bottom line is I've got these supporters who don't give a damn. In fact, the worse news comes out about me, the better it's gonna be for me afterwards. So why would I go and talk? Because when I speak, I lie. Maybe every once in a while, someone's gonna catch me in those lies. And then now I kind of don't have the same level of fervor and fire, because let's keep it real, I guarantee you he's still shaking in his boots about all these indictments and charges, because he doesn't really want that to go down either. We get some of those stories too. But it's you fly under the radar as much as Donald Trump can do that, and it's easy for him. I mean, do you think he wants to work? Prepare? Come on.
You said he might get caught in a lie or two. There is a list, a very long list of things that people have caught Donald Trump in a lie. It's abundant. It's bad PR. He is currently being indicted left and right. He has just been caught in so many lies in the state of New York. They are about to dismantle his ability to operate business in New York. It's just bad PR, and those people know that he has the tendency to make things worse when he opens his mouth, and this is not the time for him to do that. At this moment, the more he says, the worse it gets, because it's just pissing people off, and these people are now in positions of power and they have the opportunity to shut him down. They just changed, I posted it in my stories, Zillow just changed the value of one of his homes. That's how petty it's gotten. Zillow went in and changed the value of his home from like $400 million to like 42 million. And I was like, it's just, he's in trouble. It's high school. When you're not popular anymore, when you get in trouble, people are like, ooh, and they start backing away. They know not to put that man on that stage. And the narcissist in him, and first of all, you know that Donald Trump has always gone against what people advise him to do. He's always been the person who cannot follow directions nor instructions. And after people end up leaving him when they are no longer of use to him, they always let the air out the dirty laundry. But you know they're telling that man just shut up and sit down, and still he's sending out these messages on Truth Social. So
and it's interesting when he's sending them out, right? It's after the second debate when, for the first time, the other candidates are actually like trying to critique Donald Trump. The first one, they were like, yes, we would vote for him, and yeah, we would endorse him. Please make me Veep. And now they're actually calling him out on some of his records, some of that debt incurred, even though you're right, JR, they all benefited from it as well. All of their donors benefited from it. So I think it's interesting that now the campaign's pissed, even though, and let's go to this, 40-point lead, according to 538, which is bigger than any lead that's ever been overcome. So why are you whining, dude? Like, why? And you're totally right. It's because these are not journalists who want access to you. You're actually gonna get hard pushback, but you also, Donald Trump is always able to turn negative press into a win for him. He's able to turn indictments into a win for him. So, it's like, let the media feast and go appear at a debate. Now, here's a question. Could he actually be defeated by Vivek Ramaswamy? Because it's not gonna be DeSantis. Probably not. There's been deficits of 30 points that have been overcome, including in this late in the contest, to determine the 2008 Democratic presidential nominee Barack Obama turned around a 28-point deficit in October 2007 into a double-digit lead by April 2008, a near 40-point shift on the margins. So it might happen, but probably not. And yet, a lot of donors behind the scenes are kind of freaking out. As we've seen, a lot of them do not see anyone on the debate stage who's actually appetizing enough for all their money. Some of them are throwing in behind different folks here and there, some Nikki Haley cash, some Mike Pence cash, but they want someone else who's not on that debate stage. And there seems to be a new name being thrown into the race behind the scenes, which is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. Remember, the guy who won his seat in Virginia by not appealing nor dissuading or sort of repelling the MAGA base, just sort of walking that little anti-woke line, talking about things that are MAGA, but not explicitly embracing Trump, but also not embracing Trump. Republican donors are trying to draft Glenn Youngkin. Some of the biggest donors in the country will converge next month for a 2-day meeting to rally behind that governor, Glenn Youngkin. The closed gathering will be focused officially on the Republican effort to win full control of the General Assembly in Virginia, but unofficially, and this is according to Bob Costa of the Washington Post, several donors tell me it will be an opportunity for them to push, if not shove, Youngkin into the Republican presidential race. How's that gonna work? All right, well, I don't know either, but according to the plan, if the Virginia state legislature turns red, if it goes Republican after November 6th, Youngkin could claim he flipped a state that Joe Biden won. Okay, and then if the governor signaled he was interested in exploring a run, supporters could rush to collect signatures for him to get on the ballot in delegate-rich states, many of which have December deadlines, so we're still under the deadline. If he got in, he'd make a play for Iowa, build a campaign with an eye on staying in until the convention. Lickety split seems super simple, except for one thing. Apparently, Glenn has not been convinced to run yet. In fact, when he thinks about going up against someone like Donald Trump, this was according to an anonymous source, Glenn cringes when he thinks about what Trump would do.
What do you think that means?
What does he have to hide? Like what doesn't he want to come to light that could possibly be manipulated or turned into something that is unfavorable? But let this be a lesson to Vivek. You can go and talk all that smack about your people. First of all, let me just remind you that immigrants vote. Undocumented immigrants don't vote, but immigrants do vote, and they shall remember. The North remembers. But I just think it's interesting that they're like, who can we find that actually has a shot? Let's put our money behind another white guy, because this guy right here is not going to win.
And how bad does it look for Ron DeSantis? He was the white guy who was supposed to get that shot. He was the one that was going on Fox News when they had the sweeping camera angles and they said, rock star Ron DeSantis comes in, look, he hates everybody who lives in Florida. Don't you want to vote for him? I don't know how they didn't see that part coming. They knew him behind the scenes before we did, in front of cameras, looking like he does whenever he gets in front of a camera. So I'm trying to figure out why they thought he was the good candidate selection first, which makes me wonder why they think Glenn Youngkin is another good replacement for this as well. Because this story came up and I was thinking, what do I remember about Glenn Youngkin? There were stories about him. What is it we were talking about? And it was bad news, but nobody remembers because Glenn Youngkin is very forgettable. I mean, I don't mean to say that in like a mean way, but he's one of those candidates that, look, he's backed by all this money come from millionaire donors given to super PACs. And one of the things that they did say was, no matter what, there's gonna be money there. Now think about our presidential process here. Now, I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget this. He says he's gonna shove Glenn Youngkin into the race if he doesn't want to get in. That's the president you want? You want the guy that didn't want to get into the race because he looks right, is from the right state, and then we can put enough money behind him. So what happens if he wins the presidency?
And he's scared of Trump too. That's the other thing.
What are we doing?
But you know what's funny to me? The comedian in me just can't help it. They're like, they're looking at Vivek and they're like, hey, move that guy who has parents that are not citizens, and he's always talking about, what? Just go dust that white dude off the shelf right there. That's going to be the president right there. We need that guy right there. I was like, man, that's the greatest insult.
How many times have they done this to him? One other time. Remember when I'm sorry, Francesca. This is one other point about Vivek.
You should be. That's fine. No, please.
Vivek is one of my favorite guys because of how you can see sometimes in his eye. He went on one of those Christian broadcast shows. And he had been they brought up how he's Hindu.
Yep.
And then he went on, said this to this man's face. I mean, it was remote, but as he's looking into the camera, so Vivek, we have a large Christian audience here, and then we see that you're not Christian. Do you hate Christians? What is the deal here with you and Christianity? Are you against us? I was like, and as he stared into the camera, all he could do was smile and be like, they don't like me.
That's a deal breaker. Let that be a lesson to you, that the Republican Party has solidarity, but where they draw the line is when you start getting darker.
Yep. No, I mean, and he got what, the George Soros like scholarship? Come on now.
Oh yeah.
Vivek.
I totally forgot about that.
You should know better.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member. And members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.